Hello and welcome to Beautifully Balanced. Health and happiness aren't found in a bottle of prescription pills or with any fad diet. Instead, we can activate your body's natural ability to heal itself. And that is exactly what we're going to do together here. I'm Sarah Teeple, a women's integrative health practitioner, and I blend the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda with the modern science of functional medicine to help you heal your gut, rebalance your hormones, and calm anxiety naturally. Here I'll teach you the smart, sustainable, personalized, and fun way to use nutrition, herbs, and healthy lifestyle to feel vibrant, energized, and beautiful inside and out. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah Teeple, women's integrative health practitioner, and I'm so glad you are here. If you have been curious about hormone testing and wondering if getting data could finally give you some answers about what is really going on in your body, if you have felt confused, overwhelmed, unclear about your hormones, and you want clarity, simplification, hope, and relief, this is for you. So welcome. I have been practicing women's holistic health for over a decade now, but only in the past 4 years have I started integrating the Dutch test into my treatment with clients and with myself. And the results have been amazing. So many questions finally answered, so many root causes revealed, not just band-aiding the symptoms, but what are the root causes of your issues? You see, the problem is living in this digital age. We're in information overload, and we don't need more information. We need the right information. We need specific, pinpoint, laser-focused information about your biochemistry. And when we have that, everything gets clear, simple. That knowledge is power. So we need to have that data so we understand what you should do, why you should do it, and how we can simplify it. Give you a couple things that are going to be really powerful for you instead of 20, 30, 100 different things to do that are not sustainable, but also might make your symptoms worse or are not appropriate for your body because of what's going on in your biochemistry. So we're going to learn all about the Dutch and what exactly does it measure, each hormone and why it's really relevant for you. Also, the most common imbalances that we uncover, that we reveal, that we never would have known. Why is it better than a standard test you might be getting from your doctor? How to take it, who it's best for, and who it's not really for, because it's not the best thing for everyone, but it is amazing for many women. I'm going to share a really funny story, and it involves me smuggling my own jug of urine into my dentist's office, but more on that very soon. So let's do it. First off, what is the Dutch? The Dutch is an acronym, DUTCH, meaning Dried Urine Test for Comprehensive Hormones. So while our standard serum test, blood test, might just show us estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, the Dutch test is very comprehensive, meaning it is multifaceted, it's robust. It gives us a very huge and helpful snapshot of exactly what is happening in your biochemistry. Because when we know what's happening in the biochemistry, we can get you off that wellness hamster wheel of trying 100 different things, none of them working, you getting discouraged and feeling like it's not sustainable and giving up. Or maybe you don't try the 100 things, you just feel overwhelmed and you're in the freeze part of fight, flight, or freeze. So instead of staying stuck, we get the data, we know exactly what's going on with you, and then we apply integrative, holistic, simple strategies, giving you that streamlined wellness plan that will address your biochemistry, help you feel great in your body, help you feel confident, light, energetic, and more like yourself. So here are the hormones that the Dutch measures and the most common imbalances we uncover. First off, we measure estrogen and progesterone. And there's not just one estrogen. There are 3 estrogens, E1, 2, and 3, estrone, estriol, and estradiol. We also, of course, measure progesterone, and that is the wonderful counterpart to estrogen. A lot of clients that I see have low estrogen and progesterone. Some will have higher estrogen, lower progesterone. That's called estrogen dominance. This is really common in conditions like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So that's really important for us to know what the ratios are between estrogen and progesterone, or what the balance is. A super important hormone that the Dutch measures. It's a hormone metabolite, it's called. These are estrogen metabolites. And these are especially important if you have any history of cancers in your family, specifically estrogen related cancers. These metabolites tell us how well your body is processing and eliminating estrogen. So often we think all these estrogen related cancers only have to do with how much estrogen our body is creating. Like, oh, we're just overproducing estrogen and it's going to increase our risk of cancer. But more often, it's an issue with the metabolites, that our body is not detoxifying estrogen as well as it needs to. So that's what the estrogen metabolites can tell us. And I might do a whole other episode on this because it is its own very important topic. So we'll go into that more another time. The Dutch test does measure these estrogen metabolites, and that tells us about not only how your body's metabolizing estrogen, but if you're having issues with estrogen metabolism, you're probably also having issues with other types of hormone metabolism in your body. And it's very good to know. And there's some very specific things with nutrition, with one or two very focused supplements that we can do to get those detoxification pathways moving again. So, along with that theme of detoxification, the Dutch measures something called your methylation. Methylation involves all of these really powerful detoxification and cleansing processes. Your body's ability to detoxify at a cellular level. And methylation is so important, especially if you have weight gain, if you're having fatigue, pain in your body, migraines, other types of pain and inflammation related things in the body at a very deep, fundamental, foundational level, mitochondrial level. Methylation also does tie in with liver function. And so when we see low methylation, we need to support the liver. We need to support the lymphatic system, which is like your body's natural sewage system. And there are some very simple, powerful, and effective things we can do to support that methylation, but we need to first know that the methylation is struggling, that, the reason why you can't lose weight isn't because you're lazy and eating too much and eating McDonald's all day, but maybe your methylation is struggling, so your body literally just can't keep up. It can't detoxify. Next, the Dutch measures your androgens. Androgens are known as male sex hormones, like testosterone is one of many androgens, but females have them too. And they help us with things like maintaining muscle mass, having a nice healthy libido. Many clients are like, libido? What the hell is that? So we'd like to know what's going on with your androgens. This next one is a biggie. The Dutch measures a class of hormones called your glucocorticoids. And this is a fancy multisyllabic word for your stress hormones. And it's actually a big kind of umbrella of hormones. When we think of stress hormones, we usually only think about cortisol. And we often vilify it, like, oh, cortisol is the root of all evil. It's the root of all our problems. It's the reason you can't lose that weight around your belly. It's the reason you're tired during the day but wired at night. And that's partially true, but cortisol also acts as an energy hormone. So we want to have cortisol, but we want it to be produced and metabolized at the right times of day. And the Dutch measures the hormones in our urine at 4 different times throughout the day. It measures your mineral corticoids. Mineral corticoids show us what's been happening with your stress hormones over time. So glucocorticoids are more about what's been happening in your stress hormones for the past month, 3 months. Mineral corticoids, we can see what's been going on in your stress hormones for the past 1 to 2 years. And often what we see is either stress hormone overdrive, like those glucocorticoids are kicking into high gear, they're very high. But even more often, I see low glucocorticoids and mineral corticoids, and that indicates something called stress hormone exhaustion, which is a very common reason why women are fatigued, exhausted, burnt out, mentally foggy, uninspired, unmotivated, but also why they cannot lose weight. Because when we are in stress hormone exhaustion, your body says, I want to hold on to everything that I have. I'm in survival mode, I'm in fear mode, I have to hold on. And so we need to know if you're in stress hormone exhaustion because certain things that are common in the wellness world to help you lose weight. Certain types of exercise, certain types of supplements, certain type of diet is actually not appropriate if you're in stress hormone exhaustion. It can make it worse. Next up, the Dutch measures thyroid hormones, specifically the free thyroid hormones, free T3 and free T4, and those are the ones that show us how our body's utilizing our thyroid hormone and is it able to convert that to usable energy. So I had one client who had hypothyroidism for years. She was on thyroid meds, and her blood tests kept revealing that her thyroid hormones were in fine balance. Her endocrinologist was satisfied with where they were. But when we ran the Dutch on her, we saw that those free thyroid hormones were very low. And so it really explained why she was exhausted, why she was fatigued, why she couldn't lose weight, because actually her thyroid meds were not where they needed to be, but the serum blood test was not revealing that. So this was foundational for her. She couldn't make any progress, couldn't feel better until we got those readings from the Dutch and then knew we need to bump up your thyroid prescription for now and do some other really wonderful holistic things. Give some selenium, get more protein, and so forth. Next up, melatonin. Melatonin is a powerful and wonderful sleep hormone, but it also has to do with getting that deep restoration, reset, rejuvenation in your body. And it's essentially also a longevity hormone. What we see on the Dutch is bottomed out melatonin, or sometimes we'll see high melatonin, mostly when clients are supplementing with melatonin and they're taking a dose that's too high for them. And so their melatonin will be too high and they will feel super groggy in the mornings, but they're not putting two and two together. So then we know, hey, we need to ease up on the melatonin. And there are many wonderful, simple, holistic things we can do to naturally boost what's called your endogenous melatonin. So not exogenous, not something that you're taking and supplementing with, but your endogenous, your body's own melatonin. You can make more of your own with some simple strategies. But first, we've got to know what's going on with that melatonin, and we can find out. Next up, organic acids are things like kynurenic acid and xanthorenic acid, and they are essentially inflammation markers and can tell us if we need to be supplementing with certain B vitamins or if we need to be treating inflammation in a more targeted way. Finally, we've got 4-point cortisol measurement. The Dutch test measures your hormones in your body at 4 different times of day, and we get that 4-point cortisol and cortisone. So see where the stress hormones are over the course of the day. So who is the Dutch test best for and who it's not for? If you have been struggling, if you've been doctor Googling every symptom that you're having, maybe you're entering perimenopause and the fatigue, the weight gain, the irregular periods, the irritability, just have you feeling like you are not yourself anymore. So you're Google searching every symptom and you just feel like you're chasing your tail. You're getting overwhelmed by conflicting health advice, or you're getting bombarded by social media ads for the latest hormone supplements and thinking, oh, maybe that's like the magic bullet. This is for you. And I hear you about that, actually. My Instagram feed absolutely knows that I'm going through perimenopause. That algorithm is on to me, and I'm getting all kinds of ads all the time for the latest beef tallow wrinkle cream or vagus nerve toning exercises, the newest hormonal supplement formulas. And, while some of these things might actually be helpful, there might be some validity, but it's also just keeping us on the hamster wheel of consumption, buying more stuff, getting more confused, getting more information that might not even be relevant to us. It's keeping us scrolling and worrying and disconnected from our body. It's draining our money, and frankly, it's draining our sanity. Many clients I see are in their 40s or 50s. They're in perimenopause, or maybe they've just gone through menopause. They're gaining weight or they have gained weight. Their thyroid function's low. They're anxious, they're not sleeping well, and they have vaginal dryness. You might have several of those symptoms, or you might not. But when there are lots of different symptoms, it becomes overwhelming for a person on their own, even with Dr. Google out there, becomes very challenging to know what thing to treat first when you just have this myriad of symptoms that feel like this tangled rubber band ball. That is where getting the scientific data about what is the most pressing issue or issues that we want to address first. To have a successful wellness plan, it's really important to address things one or two at a time, but in the right order. And that's what knowing your data allows us to do. Often I have clients who have had really persistent symptoms, meaning they've been experiencing these symptoms for years or even a decade or more, and they've gone to a lot of different specialists, a hormone specialist, an endocrinologist to look into their autoimmune issues and thyroid, a gastroenterologist to explore what's going on digestively, and no one's given them real satisfactory, actionable answers. They're still experiencing so many symptoms and not getting any relief. They're experiencing lots of hormonally related symptoms, and your doctor is telling you your only solution is to get back on a hormonal birth control pill. And no judgment if you're on a hormonal birth control pill, although they do have many risks and side effects, especially when we're 30, 35, 40, and over. Increased risk of blood clots, stroke, just putting more synthetic hormones into our body that can increase risk of certain cancers. Also, it can drive women a little bit crazy. It can make their anxiety, their depression, their irritability a lot worse to be back on a hormonal birth control pill. But a lot of the time, women will come to me saying, this is the only option that my doctor has given me. This, or they're talking about a hysterectomy. And we say, whoa, hold your horses. Let's back up and get some data, some real insights, and then apply some natural solutions before we jump always to the hormone replacement, especially synthetic hormone replacement. A lot of clients also come seeking out the Dutch and seeking the more integrative natural solutions when they're already on hormone replacement therapy, also known as HRT. Maybe they're already on estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and you're still having issues, still having weight gain, still having irritability. So you want that broader perspective, want that bigger picture, and want the expertise of someone who will utilize holistic natural strategies before just continually increasing your dosage of your hormone replacement therapy, because then that's going to create more symptoms, more complications. So who the Dutch is not for. It is not ideal for women only wanting to focus on sex hormones. So if you're only wanting to zero in on estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, especially maybe in order to establish your baseline readings of those three hormones for hormone replacement, actually a blood or serum test can do better in this situation, or what's called a 24-hour urine collection. So how do you take the dried urine test for comprehensive hormones? How do you take the Dutch? You simply take it at home. It drop ships to your house along with very simple instructions. You don't need to go into LabCorp. You don't need to go into your doctor's office. It is 4 samples that you provide over the course of the day. And we are just simply urinating in a little cup, dipping in the test strip and setting it aside to dry overnight, and then mailing it into the lab and receiving back illuminating data on so much that is going on in your body. So, my funny story, when I was first starting out years back, I ordered the wrong test for myself. I always like to be my own little lab rat and take the test to really dive into it. before I start giving it to clients. So by mistake, I ordered the 24-hour urine test. So the key with the 24-hour urine collection is that you must collect all of your urine over the course of the day. And when I received it in the mail, it was this big plastic jug that almost looked like one of the jugs that you bring to a gas station when your car has run out of gas and you bring to fill up at a gas station. Also, it's best if you take either the Dutch, the dried urine, or the 24-hour urine collection during the luteal phase of your period. So that's between ovulation and menstruation. And the instructions tell you exactly when to take it based on your cycle. Now, if you're not menstruating anymore, you can really take it anytime during the month. But the day that I needed to take my test was the day that I had a dentist appointment. I said, all right, I have to collect all of my urine. Ideally, I wish that I could just leave the jug in my car while I went in to get my cleaning, but I know myself better than that. I am a very hydrated person and I pee a lot. So I knew I was going to need to bring the jug in. So I had it in my Teeple Holistic tote bag. It's a lovely organic cotton branded tote bag that is just wonderful carry-all. So I carried that in with me and had to go pee before my dentist appointment. So did the collection in the dentist bathroom, poured it in the big jug, put the big jug back in my tote bag along with a little hand towel that I had carried from home to cover it up. And then when I got into the dentist's office, got in the chair, set my bag down on the side chair that is usually, just for a patient's things. And usually the hygienist just leave it alone. But for some reason, the hygienist came over and she offered to move my bag. And knowing that the huge jug of urine was in there and maybe the hand towel might fall off and reveal this big jug, I was like, no, 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 no. You don't have to touch it. I'll take care of that, and gracefully shooed her away and moved the bag myself. So that is a little funny, awkward story. It's quintessentially something that I would do or something that would happen to me. My husband jokes about this kind of thing. But you will not have to worry about that because the Dutch is a dried urine test. It's far easier, and you won't have to tote around your own huge jug of urine. But it was quite the experience, and I love to tell people about it. So, one perk of these 4 urine samples that you're doing across the course of the day. Remember, you don't have to collect all your urine like I did, just 4 samples, but it will show us what is happening with your stress hormones over the course of the day. Are they spiking at the right times? Are you producing stress hormones at the right time to be able to utilize them as really great energy? Or are you sluggish and no stress hormones early in the day and then you're spiking before bed and that's why you're having trouble sleeping? So it can really show us what's affecting your energy or fatigue during the day. So often with clients with insomnia, sleep issues, or clients that wake up feeling just exhausted in the morning, seeing that 4-point cortisol and cortisone over the course of the day really helps us know what's going on and what's causing that. If you have any questions about the Dutch, please reach out to me, hello@sarahteeple.com. You can also find out more about how I use the Dutch with clients and how you can use the Dutch for yourself on my website, sarahteeple.com. And as always, it has been great to be with you. I look forward to working with you or helping you, and I love to serve you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, you can feel your best naturally. Just try one new thing a week that you learn here and watch your body and life transform. And if you're ready to take this to the next level, learn your dosha, get your personalized holistic plan, and live beautifully balanced, you've got to come see me at sarahteeple.com. That's SARAHTEEPLE.com. There you can learn about how to work with me one-on-one or book a free holistic chat and just tell me what you're working on. I love to hear from you and help you live your best life. So until next time, be well. Oh, and if you love this conversation, please rate and review our podcast. That really helps more people find natural healthcare options. Thanks again, and see you soon.